The old woman sat quietly near gate 12, her wrinkled hands folded tightly in her lap, eyes moving from face to face as crowds rushed past her like she didn't exist. Then she noticed the airport staff laughing while pointing at her boarding pass, shaking their heads in frustration because she couldn't hear them. And that was the moment a tired-looking single dad walking past suddenly stopped, because he noticed something everyone else ignored. Her eyes were not confused, they were hurt. Before we begin, if stories about kindness, humanity, and unexpected heroes touch your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps more stories like this reach people who need hope today. The airport was chaos that evening. Flights delayed, passengers stressed, announcements echoing constantly. People argued at counters, children cried, phones rang nonstop. In the middle of all this noise sat Mrs. Eliza Carter, the deaf mother of one of the most powerful CEOs in the country, yet no one around her knew. She had arrived 3 hours early, just like her son had taught her. Always reach early, Mom. Travel is unpredictable, he had said during their last video call. She remembered smiling at the screen, nodding proudly, even though she could only read half of his lips. Eliza was born deaf, long before modern hearing technology was common. She learned sign language young, but life had never been easy. She worked as a tailor most of her life, raising her son Daniel alone after her husband passed away when Daniel was just 4 years old. Daniel grew up watching his mother fight silently through life. He watched people talk over her, ignore her, mock her. He promised himself one day he would build a world where she would never feel invisible again. And he did. At 38, Daniel Carter became the CEO of CarterTech, a billion-dollar technology company focused on accessibility devices. But today, his mother was alone. At the airport, Eliza tried asking for help multiple times. She showed her boarding pass. She pointed to the gate. She tried writing on paper. But the staff were overwhelmed and impatient. Some simply waved her away. Others spoke loudly, thinking volume could replace understanding. One woman at the counter rolled her eyes and mouthed slowly, "Wait. Sit. There." Eliza understood the words, but not the tone. She sat again, shrinking into herself, feeling like a burden, something she had felt too many times in her life. That's when Amir walked by. Amir was 32. Exhausted. Wearing a faded jacket. Holding his sleeping 6-year-old daughter Zara in his arms while dragging a small suitcase behind him. He was a single father, working 2 jobs after losing his wife in a car accident 3 years ago. Life had taught him to notice pain in silence. As he walked past, he noticed Eliza trying to ask a security guard something, using hand movements that weren't random. They were sign language. Amir stopped. He gently tapped her shoulder and smiled. Then slowly, carefully, he signed, "Do you need help?" Eliza froze. Her eyes widened. Her lips trembled. Then she signed back, slightly shaky, "Yes. Thank you." For the first time in 2 hours, someone spoke her language. Amir set Zara down gently on a nearby chair and knelt beside Eliza so she didn't have to strain her neck. He read her boarding pass and realized her gate had been changed 40 minutes ago. She had been sitting at the wrong gate the whole time. And her flight was boarding right now, at the opposite end of the terminal. Eliza's face filled with panic. Amir immediately grabbed her small carry bag, lifted Zara again, and gestured, "Come with me. We will make it." They rushed through the crowd. Amir didn't run, he matched her pace, making sure she felt safe. Every few steps he signed updates. "Almost there. Turn here. You are okay." At the new gate, boarding was nearly closed. The staff member was about to shut the system when Amir stepped forward and quickly explained. He signed to Eliza what was happening. The staff reluctantly processed her boarding pass. Eliza turned to Amir. Her eyes were filled with tears. She signed slowly, "You are kind. Thank you for seeing me." Amir smiled and signed back, "My wife was deaf. She taught me." Eliza covered her mouth, emotional. She touched Zara's head gently and signed, "You are raising her well." Amir felt his throat tighten. They thought that was the end. But it wasn't. 2 days later, Amir received a call from an unknown number. He almost ignored it, thinking it was spam, but answered anyway. "Hello, is this Amir Hassan?" the voice asked. "Yes. This is Daniel Carter. My mother told me about you." Amir froze. He knew that name. Everyone did. Daniel continued, voice emotional, "My mother hasn't stopped talking about you. Well, signing about you. She said you treated her like a human being when everyone else treated her like an inconvenience." Amir didn't know what to say. Then Daniel said something that changed everything. "I want to meet you." They met a week later at Carter Tech headquarters. Eliza was there too. The moment she saw Amir, she stood and hugged him tightly. Daniel watched silently, realizing this stranger had given his mother something money never could: dignity. During their conversation, Daniel learned about Amir's life. His wife. His struggles. His daughter. His multiple jobs. Then Daniel made an offer. Not charity. Opportunity. He offered Amir a training position at Carter Tech, working on accessibility communication programs for customer support. Because who better than someone who truly understands? Amir accepted. Over the next year, Amir helped design one of the company's most successful deaf access customer service systems. The system allowed deaf customers to connect instantly with sign language agents through video support. Millions of users benefited. One small act at an airport changed thousands of lives. One evening, during Carter Tech's annual event, Daniel invited Amir and Zara on stage. In front of thousands, Daniel said, "The world talks about innovation and technology. But real change begins with kindness." Amir reminded me of that. The audience stood in applause. Eliza sat in the front row, crying proudly. Later that night, as Amir tucked Zara into bed, she asked, "Papa, why did you help that grandma at the airport?" Amir smiled and said, "Because sometimes, Beta, people don't need money or gifts. They just need someone to understand them." Years later, Zara would grow up learning sign language fluently. She would volunteer teaching deaf children. She would tell everyone, kindness can change destinies. And Eliza? She never traveled alone again. Not because she couldn't, but because now, the world felt less lonely. So if this story touched your heart, remember, sometimes the smallest moments define who we are. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes kindness still matters. Because heroes don't always wear suits, sometimes they just stop walking and choose to see someone everyone else ignored. And somewhere in a busy airport, someone might be waiting, hoping, for one person to understand their silence.